Alright guys, welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 all-in-one guide. First I want to give credit to GetBadGamer on Reddit for this method to quickly farm Covenant items. Because let me tell you guys, without this method, this will take you a long time. This still took me a while even with this method, but without this method, you're looking at 8 hours per Covenant maybe. But lucky for us, people like this exist that find these methods, so let's get to it. How does it work? Alright, so before we go through the steps for this method, let's just talk some general things you want to do. As you're farming, you're going to get millions of souls, because this takes a very long time, and you'll want to maximize your souls in the late game areas when you're killing the knights, the Lothric knights, and the silver knights, because you can get a lot of souls for these guys. You'll be getting a lot of levels, so what I recommend is to spec every single level you get into luck. And if you want to, you can actually take away certain stats temporarily. I did this for my intelligence. I took my intelligence all the way down to 15 from 40 and put it all into luck. You don't have to do this, but it's just going to make it even that much faster. Because you still have to get one Covenant item for this trick. And who knows how long it's going to take you to get one item. It could take hours upon hours to get one item. It's just complete RNG. Now, to do this trick, you will have to farm until you get one Covenant item. It's very important that you do not use a homeward bone ever. Do not ever use a homeward bone. Do not use any kind of warping. The only warping you're going to do is going back to Firelink. So once you get your Covenant item, run back to the bonfire. Never warp. You'll go back to Firelink. You'll buy one item from the Handmaiden. It doesn't matter what item you get. I just bought green blossoms. Quit out immediately. And then stay on the menu for 1 minute. Approximately 1 minute. I set a timer every time. Then you'll go back to farming again. But this time, you're going to count how many times you kill the enemies. You will always get a drop within 10 runs. I have never had it go past 10. So I can vouch for this method. It 100% works. Now, bear in mind, 2 covenants, the Rosaria Covenant and the Aldridge Faithful Covenant, you do not need 30 items. You only need 10. So you need 10 pale tongues and 10 human dregs to get what's required for the achievements. However, I went all out. I wanted everything. So I got 30 pale tongues and 30 human dregs. And with this method and specking into luck, it's not going to take you that long, really. Now, try not to die. I don't know if it really matters. I don't think it does, because I still died on a couple of my runs, and I still counted, and I got them still, so within 10 runs. But just try not to die. It just kind of messes with the integrity, I guess. You just don't want to mess with the integrity of these glitches that you do. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys here now, because you're getting so many kills and so many souls, you want to maximize your soul count as much as possible. However, you also want to maximize your item discovery every time you do a run. So what I like to do is always have the Crystal Sage Rapier in my left hand. Always. You never take it off when you're killing an enemy, because it gives you 50 additional item discovery. But you still want to maximize your souls. So how do you do both? Well, I kind of touched on this when I killed the Winged Knights on top of Lothric Castle. We're going to be doing a lot of backstabbing, and as soon as you finish the kill, quickly switch to the Mendicant Staff. If you do it quick enough, you'll still get even more souls, 20% more souls by having the staff in your hand. You don't have to do this, but trust me, you'll want to get levels quickly, and this is one way to maximize your soul count. And again, we're going to spec into luck every time we get a level. But we're not going to keep the luck. When I go into New Game Plus and beyond, I'm going to respec back into my stats. So obvious equipment you're going to want for this first covenant, which is the Sunlight Covenant. We're going to have the Lightning Bandit Knife plus 10, the Mendicant Staff, the Crystal Sage Rapier, and we're going to use the Rapport spell, so we're going to need a Pyromancy Catalyst. You're going to need the Gold Serpent Ring plus 3, Silver Serpent Ring plus 3, the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, and the Hornet Ring. And buy a buttload of rusted coins from patches. And we're going to go to Lothric Castle. This is where you're going to get your sunlight medals. You need 30 sunlight medals to max this covenant out. So we're just going to pop a coin and we're going to backstab this guy first. Switch to the Mendicant Staff, then I like to use the Crystal Sage Rapier to get a little extra souls from that guy, because as long as you have the Mendicant Staff, you'll still get the extra souls. But as you notice, every time I kill a Lothric Knight, I switch to the Mendicant Staff. You'll get more souls per kill. Rapport this knight. Sometimes he'll kill his friend, sometimes he won't. And that's really all there is to it. But we're not going to warp back to the bonfire ever. So just to get into a good habit, just don't even entertain the idea. Even though you haven't got a covenant item yet, just get into a habit of running back to the bonfire. And you can kill this other priest along the way. We ignored him initially. If you run fast enough, you'll be able to get to that second knight before he buffs him. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to do each farming run twice. And then I'm going to go reap the rewards from the covenant, and we'll move on to the next one. Once you have obtained 30 sunlight medals, you can go back to the Dancer of the Boreal Valley bonfire or the Dragon Slayer Armor bonfire. It doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to go to the Dancer's bonfire here. It probably would have been quicker to go to the Dragon Slayer Armor, but whatever. You'll take the lift up and go back to where the statue was, where you got the Praise the Sun gesture. And once we give the 30 sunlight medals, we'll get 2 miracles. Sacred Oath and the Great Lightning Spear. You can see I've already got all 30 of the items. This is post-farming. Yes, in hindsight it would have been better to go to the Dragon Slayer Armor bonfire. Seems to be a lot closer. Now you'll get 2 miracles here, the Sacred Oath and the Great Lightning Spear. You're only 2 away from the achievement. Now I didn't have the achievement on my PC when I did this, so I actually get the achievement to pop in the upper right hand corner. So even though I screwed up the tracker in the previous video saying it was 36 miracles when really it was 35, I didn't screw anything up. You still get the achievement. Now unfortunately it's time to go to the worst area to farm. Anor Londo, to farm the Silver Knights for the Proof of Concord kept. This has the worst drop rate in the game for an item. It's going to take you a very long time even to get one. So this is where I highly suggest you do the trick, Covenant trick. Spec into luck as much as possible, because this is the worst grind in the game by far. Alright, so we're going to do some retooling for this farm. Unfortunately, we have to take off this covetous silver ring because we want to one-shot these guys and we just can't do it unless we take this ring off. We're still going to get extra souls from the Mendicant Staff and the Mimic Hat, so it's not going to be that bad, and we're going to kill so many of these enemies it doesn't really matter. So we're going to take off the covetous silver ring and put on the lightning clutch ring, just to get us that extra damage. You could use the Lloyd's sword ring if you're not using the mimic hat, but because we're using the mimic hat, it's going to do nothing for us. So this is the build you want here. Now this farm is all about speed. You want to do this very quickly because you want to time it to where that third knight is walking away from you, so you can do one backstab and one slash to kill him without using hidden body. We're going to use hidden body here after popping our coin, and because we don't have the lingering dragon curse ring, we have to be very quick. So you're just going to backstab him. He's going to die in one hit. You can backstab this guy quickly. You don't have to pick up the items. In fact, I realized this later and decided since we're not warping back to the bonfire, we can just get the items on the way back. But yeah, this is what you want while he's walking down the stairs away from you. And then it's just one slash and you're done. This is definitely the fastest way to kill these guys that I have found. At least with my build. There might be some sorceries that you can do that would make it faster, but to me this is pretty efficient. One hit backstabs, except for that third guy. We'll do it one more time, and then we're going to go get the rewards. Forgot to select my coin here. But here's where I decided not to worry about picking up the items. I didn't even switch to the Minikin staff there. I think I do it here though. Yeah. This guy gives you more souls anyway. And that's it. You have to do this over and over and over again. It's going to take a very, very long time. This is one covenant you're definitely going to utilize the covenant item trick for, because the drop rate for these things are so abysmal. You'll want to use every trick in the book, and that is definitely something you want to do. So we're going to go back to the prison tower and reap our rewards. We'll get the Miracle Dark Moon Blade, and we'll get the Dark Moon Ring.
Oh, if I can...
Now, we're not going to do it here, but we are going to kill her. By killing her, we'll get a specific chime that you cannot get anywhere else. The Yorshka chime cannot be obtained in any other way. You have to kill her. So we'll do it just before entering New Game Plus. Miyazaki, you heartless bastard. Always making us kill NPCs. I thought about doing it here, but I gave her a stay of execution. Now that we have all the miracles in the game, except for one, which we can get by transposing the Soul of Cinder, which we're going to go ahead and do now, and we'll finally get the achievement Master of Miracles, which will be our 37th achievement out of 43. And you'll see the achievement actually pop in the upper right hand corner for me here. And there it is. So we know we did everything correctly. Now we're back to Anor Londo for our next Covenant farm, the human dregs. Now you can do this in two different ways. You can go to where you killed Pontiff, go up the lift and kill all of those priests there, but I prefer to do it from the Aldridge bonfire right here. It just seems to be a little bit faster. It takes quite a while to go up the lift, and then you have to go down that area with all those enemies firing at you. It's just, I don't know, it's just a preference thing. You can do either one. They all drop them, so it's your choice. Make sure you keep tabs on the symbol of avarice taking your health away, because it can sneak up on you pretty quickly. I've only got 18 vigor, so I'm going to be losing health a lot faster. But you're going to be getting hit by fireballs quite a bit here. There's really nothing you can do about it. You don't have a lot of room to maneuver. So just keep tabs on your health. Kill them as fast as you can. And this big guy up here, he will actually use the force spell on you and knock you back. It doesn't do any damage, but it is quite annoying. And you have to wait a little while after killing these guys to see the item, to see if it will actually spawn. So don't run away if you don't see it initially thinking you didn't get it. Sometimes it takes a minute. Another reason I don't like going into that other area is because there's snow in that area and the items are white, so it's going to blend in with the snow and make it harder to see. I prefer killing the enemies in here because it's dark and you can definitely see if the item has dropped. But again, it's total preference, whatever you want to do. Just going to do it one more time and move on to the next one. Alright, once you have 30 or 10, you'd only need 10 to get the achievement. 30 if you want all the items. Again, I got 30. You'll go back to this bonfire here. The water reserve. Talk to this guy in the corner, and you'll get your Great Deep Soul sorcery, which is your 33rd out of 34 sorceries. The only sorcery we have left is by transposing the soul of the Crystal Sage, which we could not do this time because we wanted the rapier. We'll get that in New Game Plus. Now this next covenant farm we're going to do is quite interesting because we can do 2 covenants at the same time, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to kill the Dark Rays for the Pale Tongues, and we're going to kill the Grus for their covenant item. You want to go to the Abyss Watcher's bonfire. If you just want to kill the Grus, you can go to a different bonfire, but this one I think is the best because you do 2 covenants at the same time. And we're going to use the Dark Rays to kill some of the Grus for us. So this is the path I like to take. Just pop your coin before exiting the door here. I don't like backstabbing these guys because the animation takes too long. Just slash them a couple times. And you want to come over here. There'll be another Gru here off up top of this hill. He'll come down and meet you. Go over here, kill this Gru. He's right for a backstab if you want to, but just 2 slashes with the lightning dagger and he'll go down. You can plunge attack this one, but be careful if you do this because you might draw aggro from the Dark Rays or some of the Grus. But it's whatever. Just make sure you hear footsteps behind you. Turn around and kill the enemies. After you kill this Gru, I like to go hidden body. And the stragglers, whoever's left, just kill whoever's left. But most of the time, it's always going to be the Dark Rays. And you can just backstab them. To me, this is the fastest way to do this. You're doing both covenants at the same time. We'll do this run one more time, and then we'll move on to the final area, the catacombs. And then this Covenant farming expedition will be over, and we can move on to New Game Plus. Our objective in New Game Plus is to do Cyrus's quest, so we can get the cat ring and finish her quest. Then we'll get the rest of the rings, which is the New Game Plus rings you can only get in New Game Plus and beyond. And we'll get the next ending, which is the To End the Fire ending. And then we'll go on to New Game Plus 3. I'm going to do two separate videos. The next video will be the entire playthrough in one video, but it's just collecting all the rings and doing Cyrus's quest and doing the ending. Then we'll move on to the final video, which is New Game Plus Plus, which will get the New Game Plus Plus rings and do the final ending. And thus this video guide will be complete. I'm just going to give you guys a warning real quick, because this happened to me on my Xbox file. Once you do a heavy farm like this, you're going to have a lot of extra weapons and armors from the enemies that you killed. Now once the farming is over, you'll be tempted to go ahead and sell all those items back to the handmaiden. And that's okay, but if you're not extremely careful, you might accidentally sell something that you care about. Now you can always seem to get these things back, except for Covenant items that you get rewards, like the sword that we're about to get from the wolf. If you sell a unique reward to the handmaiden, you can never ever get it back. No matter what, you cannot go back to New Game Plus and do it. You can't. The only way you can get it back is if you have a player drop you one from an online game. There is no way to get it back again if you've done it on this file. So one time I accidentally sold my old wolf sword I'm about to get, the curved wolf sword. I sold it by mistake and I could never get it back. So just be extremely careful. If you are going to do a massive sell, get rid of everything that you care about and put it in the storage. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Once you have 30 of the Gru's items, which is the wolf grass or something, go back to the wolf here, and you'll get your 68th ring, the wolf ring. And you'll get a sword and a shield as well. Now, since we did the Pale Tongues as well, we're going to go to Rosaria's room and get her Covenant reward, which is the Obscuring Ring and the Man-Grub Staff. I have no idea what the Man-Grub Staff does yet, but now that I'm into sorceries, I will test it out probably in New Game Plus. You'll get your 69th ring, the Obscuring Ring. Now, there are 70 rings in New Game. We couldn't get the cat ring because we failed the Cyrus's quest. We'll get it in New Game Plus. But there are 70 regular rings to get. But we opted for the gesture, so we have to wait till New Game Plus. You cannot do everything in one playthrough in this game. It's impossible. Now we're going to do some retooling here for our final area. We're going into the catacombs. We're going to select the Dark Clutch Ring and the Night Slayer's Ring. And we're going to use something blunt. A blunt object is best. We're going to use the Crucifix of the Mad King that we got from the NPC in the Ringed City. This thing is pretty awesome, I must say. It does innate dark damage, so we're just adding a few more damage points to it by putting on the Dark Clutch Ring. And we're going to also use the Blessed Cestus because there's one skeleton that is one of those wide-eyed skeletons that will respawn, but we only want to kill him once. So using the Blessed Cestus is best. I just like to pop the coin here. Two-hand this weapon here. The R1 will do an overhead, and then this one, the charged R2, will do a massive attack, which will one-shot these skeletons. Once you kill these two, switch to your Cestus. Come over here. And I just R1 this guy twice. He will respawn if you don't have a blessed weapon. He will drop the Vertebrae shackle as well. So it's worth killing all 3 of these guys. Some people just kill the first 2 and just call it a day. But I digress. I think killing all 3 is better. We'll do it one more time. And that will be it for the Covenants, guys. In the next video, like I said, we're going to begin New Game Plus. And we'll do all the rings for New Game Plus, and we're going to do Cyrus's Quest and the next ending. Now that we have all 30 vertebrae shackles, we'll go back to the Pit of Hollows and get our Master of Pyromancy's 26 out of 27th, Warmth. And we'll also get the Bloodlust Katana as well. The only pyromancy we have left is from the Stray Demon. We have to transpose that soul to get Boulder Heave, but we opted for the Havel's Ring last time, so we couldn't get it this time. And now, unfortunately, we have to go kill Yorshka to get her chime. I really wish there was another way to do it. I never am a bad guy in video games. I'm always the good guy. But here I gotta be the bad guy, so goodbye, Yorshka. I'll see you guys in New Game Plus.
Dear brother, forgive me.